Hi everyone, this is the tutorial for Make Me Happy. My name is Billy from Piano and Pies. Let's get stuck straight in. Okay, so the song starts off with three chords that we need to get used to. The first chord is a G major chord. Now we are in standard tuning for this, and we're going to play 3 on the E string, 2 on the A, 0, 0, 0, and then a 3 on the high E string. So that's our first chord, G major. Now I'll talk through the other chords that we need for the introduction before we talk about strumming and structure. So the second chord is a C major chord. 3 on the A string, 2 on the D, an open G, 1 on the B, and an open E string. I'm missing out the E string here, I'm not playing that one. And the last chord for the introduction is a D major chord. Open D string, 2 on the G, 3 on the B, 2 on the high E. And what's going to happen is you play G to C, D, and then back to G to finish off one time round of the introduction. And what happens is they play the lowest note of the chord, so whatever the lowest sounding note is, in this case for G, it's that one there, and then a bit of an upstroke. And it goes back and forth 4 times for every chord. And it is a bit palm muted as well, so what you can do is put this part of your hand on the strings, just touching. However, if you prefer not to do that, then just strum as normally, just nice and gentle. For the sake of this video, I'm going to be playing normally rather than palm muted, so you can hear exactly what I'm doing a little bit clearer. So what we do after the G is we do the same idea for C, where the lowest note isn't this E string anymore. C major, the lowest note is the 3 on the A string. We then play the same idea on D, which is the lowest note of the D string, before going back to G to finish it. So the introduction starts off with those 4 chords, G to C, D to G. Now when the first verse kicks in, we play exactly the same thing. But just remember, when you finish playing once round for the introduction with G, you start it with G again, don't quickly change to C. So the first verse, G to C, D to G. In fact, you do it a second time for the verse. So you can see there, I finished with G, then I continued playing G because that starts off the second time round. We then get a pre-chorus. I guess you could call it a second verse, but I'm calling it a pre-chorus. But the good thing is you just play the same thing again until we get to this next part. And it's worth mentioning that there are 1 or 2 little changes in this song that you've got to watch out for. If you would like the chords all wrote out with the full structure, with every chord in the correct order, as well as a PDF of the chords and the lyrics matched up. So let's say you want to sing on, play along to it, or maybe you just want to jam along to it in general, then head on over to Patreon. Everything's wrote out professionally, and for the cost of $1, you get not only access to this song, but well over 350 other songs that I've made over the past few years of the latest releases. And what happens is, at the end of this pre-chorus, we have a C major chord that we will sustain for a bar. 1, 2, 3, 4, before going to D major and holding that for 4 counts. Now we do get to a chorus next, and the chorus is thankfully the same 3 chords over and over and over for, well, actually it's just 2 times round, so maybe not over and over, but the strumming is literally the same. Following that idea just over and over to get through that first chorus. And after that, we do get a lot of repetition. Looking over to my notes, there is a second verse, which is the same as the first verse. So the G to the C, D and G, twice round. There is a pre-chorus, which we do exactly the same as before, including that C for 4 and D for 4. So largely just do what we did again. There is then another chorus, which is the same. But we then have a bridge section. Now the bridge section is a little bit light on the chords in the background. The kind of guitar kind of fades away, and what chords we have in the background is C major that we can sustain, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 beats, and then we're going to go to an E minor, and an E minor is an open E string, 2, 2 on the A and the D strings, 0 on the G, 0 on the B, and 0 on the high E string. We'll sustain that for 8 counts, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Back to C, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And at this point, I'm going to say that there's 2 bars of no chords. It's a little bit more kind of vocal orientated. The instrumentation's not as clear. I guess you could play an E minor chord if you wanted, maybe a G chord, but for me, I wouldn't play anything and just let the vocals do their job. We then have a chorus which will end the song, and we'll go back to playing nice and lively. So if you play that last chorus through twice, you've got the full song and you have got to the end of the track. Now, it's worth mentioning that, yes, if you do want the extra material over on Patreon, then feel free to head over to the link in the description. And the people on the screen, who are my active patrons, will get that straight away. So thanks to them for their support, thanks to you for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.